Okay, so what happened here is I deactivated the skirt, not deactivate, I made the main skirt invisible. In fact, I added it here just for reference sake, so that because in some cases I might have to clean certain things, so I need a reference to be able to, so that I can get back to square one and restart again and stuff like that, because this is kind of a non-destructible, this is a destructible way of doing this. So let's select this leg. When you select this leg, you notice that her leg, her skirt, and whatever, it's like I cut it into two. And if you do the opposite version, you see that the other leg, you see that it is cut into like two also. Well, not completely two, but it's sort of cut. So what I'm trying to achieve here is, okay, I want her leg, so let's just do that. Let's just be doing it so that you get what I'm saying. So first thing is, I will start the walk around this point. Let's say this point, so this should be the pivot point. But since this is the pivot point, you cannot just leave it like this, because this part will actually be going out. So you have to add a pin here. So you see I'm adding a pin right here. Perfect. So now with this pin, even though this is the pivot point, this will actually not move. So let's do her knee. So her knee should be around this point. Let's just do it. Boom, click that, add in a knee. And her ankle should be around this point. Then her heel should be around this point. Her toes. Okay, so this let's add a draggable there, just so that we can manipulate this point. Okay, now the issue that you have is, oh, don't worry, let's just continue. So we'll actually test this out so that you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. Let's place this here, because I want her lap to be moving sort of, kind of a bit, but not completely, because she's wearing a skirt, so there's no way her movement, her twerk, her complete movement will be full, like around her waist side, because this around this side will be tight. So it should be around this point. And so let's just add in a pin here, because the pivot point is not at that point, so we don't want that point to move. So her knee should be around this point. Yep. And let's add a draggable, just so that we can manipulate that. Her ankle should be around here. Her toes should be around here, and her heel should be around here. So let me just test this character so that you, okay, let's do the arms. Let's do the arms, so that let's just do the arms, then we'll come back and then we'll test the character, so that you'll be able to see what the issue is here. So arm A and arm B, so let's just make those independent, and then let's drag their pivot point to that's good. So let's drag this pivot point to this point, and if you notice, I'm actually placing it within the island, just so that this will actually move with the body. That is why I'm adding it to the island. So let's select arm A. Let's add her shoulders there. And in some cases they'll tell you to use this, but do not use this, because the shoulders actually move, especially for characters like more realistic characters like this. If you're doing a character where the arm is completely, the arm can be moving independently, moving up and down, jerking up and down like that, then you can use the main handle as her shoulders. But in this case, you do not want to do that, because it would be moving out of her body. So that's something that you should consider. So let's just do this. We need to add a draggable there for her elbow, and then for her wrist. And if you notice, I'm putting the wrist around this point, and that is intentional, because when you put it around this point, what you now get is, in the movement when she's moving, this point will become too flexible. So in some cases, so just put it around this point. Okay, so draggable, yeah, I've added that. So let's add in a stick, just so that we'll be able to constrain the movement, so that she doesn't have a rubber hose kind of hand. So let's drag this, boom, like that. Okay, so now let's do the other arm. Since I have the stick, let me just do that, so that when I'm moving to the next, I don't have to come back to it. Okay, so let's add her shoulders. Okay, hope this is recording. Yes, it is. Because I've had issue with Adobe, not Adobe, with OBS, where it will just stop recording, and I would have lost so much. In some cases, even up to 30 minutes of recording time, and in which case I would not want to go back. So draggable there, draggable here too. Perfect. Okay, so her fingers, let's just do that. Let's add it because there are actually so many this arm triggers that I finger triggers that I want. So let's create a swap set with all the fingers there. Let's name this finger A so that we don't confuse it with the other finger, because this is for the arm A. So all these are triggers. Normally I work with cycle triggers, but I just did not have I don't have the amount, that kind of time to work on cycle triggers for this character. So bear with me. Maybe I will do that eventually. I'm not so sure because I have so many work. So let's create a cycle trigger also for this, and let's name it AMB so that it's not, we don't get it confused with the other one. So let's latch this. I forgot to latch the finger A. So let's latch all this. Perfect. So now let's just test the character and see how the movement is. Okay, just make the camera invisible, and we'll have a full character. So move, and as you can see, it's looking like a trouser. This is wrong. Okay, I did not add the waist and whatever, all those things. That is why you can see her movement is a bit weird, but I will do that. But you can see it's looking like a trouser, which is not what we want. So I'm going to be adding just some few handles just to make it look like a skirt. And if I don't, well, I don't think I will have the time to go through and do the cycle, what am I saying, cycles, the frame by frame movement. I don't think I'll be able to do that, so I might just leave this video like that. I will try my best to make sure I fix it, because I've done this before and it actually works, but let's just see how it goes. So her skirt. Okay, first thing is, let me just click the body and let's add her waist. So let's start with the waist. It should be around here, and I like to add a draggable tag to that. So her hip, no need for draggable, so her hip again here. So perfect. Okay, so now let's click leg A, and okay, so now this is where we might have some issues. So let's do something like this. I hope this works, honestly. Let's do something like this, and let's make it fixed, and let's do the opposite for this. So something like this, and add a draggable, and let's reduce her movement, because I can see her this incomplete movements are a bit too extreme, like a guy's movement. So let's drop this to 60 and see how it goes. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, all right, so you can see this is just wrong on every level. It's just, this is not what I was going for, and for some reason her hip movement is not working, so I have to check that, or maybe it's the fixed tag that is causing that issue. So let's see her body tag. Okay, everything looks fine. Waist, right hip, everything looks fine actually. So it's most likely this that is causing that issue. So this is wrong. This also, let's get rid of it, and instead maybe I should use a pin. Let's use a pin around this point, and then let's use another pin around this point. Now let's see how it looks. Okay, as you can see, it's not looking as bad. but her legs are looking terrible, just absolutely terrible. This is not how a leg should look, but you can see that she's maintaining that that skirt shape, so that's good. But her movement, her waist movement is still off, so I have to work on that. Let's get rid of this pin. This, I think there's something that is causing that is making her not to move. Okay, let's select our character free, that's fine. Let's select this, right, instead of wealth, let's make it free also, so that the movement is free, it's not hinged on a particular point, or is not pivoting around a particular point. So I believe that movement should be fine now. But then I need to find a way to okay, let's move this up a bit. Let's move it up a bit and see how it looks. Okay, this is wrong. That pin is not helping. This situation is not helping it, honestly. So I think I'll have to check some things. There's just something that's wrong there. So in as much as I want to be trying this and then try to get it so that you'll be able to see and do it yourself, time is really fast running out, and I don't want this video to be too long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try as much as possible to fix it, and then come back and let you know how I did it. So but for now, let's start with, let's just check out her face, because you know we actually added those triggers. You can see she blinks automatically, and the blink is cycle, so it goes through 2 frames, which makes it a bit smooth. So you can see the blink smooth is quite smooth. And one thing I did not do was add triggers to her eyes, which is something I usually do. So that you, aside from the brow, you can also control her eyes. So let's just make these, because we stopped at, I think, 5 bar. We stopped at 6. Okay, 6. So let's just do 7. Let's do wide. Let's do 7 for wide. 8 for this. 9 for this, and then I like blink should be 0. So let's latch this, because it's not latch, you can see that. So for finger A, let's just make this some triggers so that you don't have to go to the control panels. So let's make this U, W, oh sorry, that was a mix up, Q. Okay, Q, W, QWERTY keys, okay, let's do A, S, D, F, G, G. Okay, perfect, nice. So almost everything is configured to a key on your keyboard, so I do not have to be coming to the controls here. Okay, so now her brow, you can see angry, boom, that's cool. Sad, you can see sad. You can see shocked. You can see well, so you can see inquisitive, like she's questioning, like she's asking a question or stuff like that. So you can see the flip version of that, and you can get her to open her eyes wide, and this works well when you have her shocked like this. So good, that's cool. You can move her iris around like this, like that. That's cool. And her lip sync, that's what I normally used to forget testing. So let's see. Okay, so you can see as she's talking, her jaws are moving and her mouth is just moving perfectly. So what again? Okay, let's do this. So eyes is sort of closed, and then this is blink. So you see she blinks her eyes when you press 0, and there's auto blink, so you don't have to worry about that. So now if I move her waist, you can actually move her body around like this, and as you can see, the hair behind her, that puffy hair behind her, is moving with physics, so it's bouncy kind of. So that's pretty cool. Let's move back a bit, and then so that we can see the whole character. Now you can move her arms like this, you can do stuff, you can press maybe Q, you get her to do stuff like her finger to do like this. This is for like something like this, just whatever way you want to move her arms. So that's pretty cool, and you can do that to the other arm also, like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. So that's quite cool. So like this. And I do not like using draggables for stuff like arm, but well, I could not do the cycles because honestly it takes a lot of time to do that. So but let me go and keep trying this, and then I'll let you know how it goes. So okay, so I made so many changes to get it to this state. So if I press, I added a dangle here, added dangle here, added it just to make things look a bit, well, I did my best. This is good enough to an extent. So that's basically it for the work. But one more thing I would like to do is to create a different profile, because now she walks this way, so she's moving this way. What if I want her to move this other way? If I press back, she just reverses her movement, so she's going backwards. I want her to be able to flip. So well, one way of doing, there are actually so many ways of doing it. I think there are like 3 ways of doing this, but the best way I think is this method I'm going to show you now. So all you need to do is select your main character. Make sure you could leave this at the center here, that's fine, but I like to drag it to the base of the character. So let me select this and then move it to the base of the character, and make sure it's centered so it's at the middle there. So like that, and maybe let's do that for this particular profile. So let's drag it to the base. Boom, good. So now since this character has is independent from its root, from the root layer up down to all these other profiles, so it means you can actually flip this. Normally you could flip this, but whenever you come to the rig and then you try to flip it and it's not independent, it will not work. So what you need to do now is okay, now let's select this character. Let's go to our rig, our records. Sorry, I said rig. Let's go to record, and I'm just going to add a very simple trigger. So you select your character, you come to transform, and then you see scale X. So this is scale X. When you scale this character on the X axis, this is what happens. Okay, it's loading. Okay, yes. So if you scale it, so you can see you can scale the character on the X axis, but when you get to minus, it flips to okay, we're back. Okay, so I flipped her on the x-axis by a negative 100. So when you do that, she flips to the opposite direction. So you don't want to be coming here and be doing this and be keying it and doing this over and over all the time. That would just be stressful. So what you need to do is, after doing this, you come here and then you click this, and then some drop down. I hope this is showing. So you create, hold, replay, and trigger. create, hold, replay, and trigger. So when you click that, you get a trigger here, a transform trigger here. So let's just give this let's give this M. Let's make this M so it flips. So we could rename this whatever you rename it, whatever. Let me just rename it flip. And just like with any other key, any other trigger rather, you have to make it latch. If you don't make it latch, what happens? This is what happens. Let me just exit that. So she's here. So if I press M, you see she goes back. Boom, she'll go back. And the beauty with using this is, so let me latch that quickly. So the beauty with using this, unlike like duplicating the character, the older I'm sure I've covered that in one of my tutorials. Instead of using that you duplicate this profile and then you flip it, and then whenever I press, it flips to a different profile. That's a flip version of this. This one, the beauty of this is this actually works with the dangles, the physics that the physics. So whenever I flip her, you see her hair, like it's so realistic. So you see there's like a movement even on this dangle, because there's a dangle around her skirt. So whenever she moves, the dangle moves with physics, like the gravity trying to drag it downwards or something like that. So that's actually very, very cool. So I would recommend use this method every single time. So when you do that, after naming it flip, maybe you come down here, you could also name it flip, because it doesn't automatically rename. So you just do that quickly, and you could alternatively, you could just click it here and have her flip. So click, she flips, click and hold, she flips, like that. So you can do something like this, boom, boom, boom. And now when you want your character to walk, all you need to do is press forward. So when you press forward, she starts moving, and then you could just press M, and then she flips to the opposite direction. You press M again, she flips back to that distance. And the beauty is now you also have her, you can make her reverse for whatever reason. I don't know what one would want a character to reverse for, but you could make her also reverse and flip. She's reversing, flip version, like, so that's actually quite cool. So that's basically it for this character. I hope I'm not missing something. I don't think I am. So without any other thing to fix, this character is all done. So thank you for watching. Please give us a like, give us a sub. It will help us to reach more people, and it will also help us to reach you with more contents like this. Thank you, and bye for now.